Hey, welcome to the Sunday preview for this 20th Sunday of the year coming up. And we got a reading from chapter 15 of St. Matthew's Gospel. At that time, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a Canaanite woman of that district came up and called out, "Have pity on me, Lord, Son of David. My daughter is tormented by a demon." Jesus did not say a word in answer to her. Jesus' disciples came and asked him, "Send her away. She keeps calling out after us." He said in reply, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But the woman came and did him homage, saying, "Lord, help me." He said in reply, "It is not right to take the food of the children and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Please, Lord, even the dogs eat the scraps that fall from the table of the master." And Jesus said to her in reply, "O woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish." And the woman's daughter was healed from that very hour. You know, this is a little bit of an odd story and a miracle in a way because, first of all, Jesus is far away from Galilee and Jerusalem. He's up in the region of Tyre and Sidon, which is in modern-day Lebanon. And this is the farthest away he ever was from Jerusalem. And it's a totally pagan area. It wasn't a Jewish area at all. So nobody knows exactly why Jesus went up there. Maybe it was for this woman. But she was a Canaanite, and the type of people that the Israelites had driven out of the land when they came into the promised land. The Canaanites had inhabited the land around Jerusalem. And they were driven out because they were pagans and worshiped false gods. So presumably this woman was still a follower of Baal or one of those strange gods at the time. And so Jesus' reluctance to do a miracle for her because he is sent first to the house of Israel, right? To the Israelites and the Jews. And she comes after him. I think, I'm not an expert in Greek, but they say this was maybe translated a little weakly because the word that it really uses is not that she just called out after them. She was screaming. She was screaming. And she was following them around and wouldn't leave. And then when Jesus put her off, she does him homage. She goes down on her knees in front of him and says, "Lord, even the dogs eat the scraps from the master's table," recognizing in humility that she was a pagan woman, that she had no right to the God of Israel because she didn't believe in him. But now, because she was suffering and her daughter was possessed by a demon, she needed God's help and she was turning back. And so Jesus sees the faith that she has. I think it's a good lesson for us to always be open to people from outside the house of faith who can have a conversion, who can maybe be in their own way working with God's grace, because God's grace is for every single person. You know, there's nobody excluded from salvation. We're saved by God's grace. And that grace goes ahead of us sometimes, and we have to be attentive to it like Jesus was in this moment, because they can have great conversions. And we need to facilitate that. We need to see when the Holy Spirit's working inside a person who might otherwise have a real checkered past or a bad life or, no signs of really being a Christian. And yet the Holy Spirit's still working on them to bring them to the fullness of the truth. Let's be open to that.